Hello everyone, and welcome back to another cigar review. With Leon, we're doing another one. And Cuban Cigar today. Cuban Cigar. Apologies that the Tuesday video came out on Wednesday. I completely forgot about. I made the video. It was already made it on the weekend. Wanted to release it on the Tuesday. I got busy, been in work. Didn't remember until now. Well, it's just gone midnight on Wednesday, Tuesday. So it'll be going up Wednesday morning, and then Thursday's video will go up on this video will go up on Thursday. So we're fine. And we're smoking a Cuban cigar today. I'm sure you'll tell by the title. We're smoking this lovely cigar. This is a Por Larranga Galanes, I believe is how it's pronounced. This is quite a wide cigar. It's a 52 ring gauge, 4 3/4. So I don't know what this actual size is called. No idea. It's an exclusive size, apparently, within the Habanos portfolio. I thought it was the same size as the Topaz. I think the Topaz might be a 54. It's also double the price of this cigar. 56, and it's a 4 7/8, so it's slightly longer and thicker than the Topaz. The Topaz is also £53. Lovely cigar, mind, but £53 is a lot. It is a very nice cigar. This cigar comes in at $24.39 on my favourite cigar website. Elsewhere, cigars, it's astronomically expensive at £36. That's so expensive for a cigar. That is £25 online. £25 online. Let me see what the Smoke King price is. Smoke King and My Smoking Shop be the other two sellers that I would buy from. Now this is one of 4 sizes available. So yeah, it's £25 on Smoke King. And we'll check My Smoking Shop, even though I'm sure it'll be around the same price. Because that's about the right price for the cigar. I could see it being about 26 to 28. Maybe even 30, to be fair, in a brick and mortar retailer. But the thing is, Smoke King is a brick and mortar retailer that has a website, so I don't know. Yeah, 25, 35. So I think it's a reasonably priced cigar for the size. It's one of 4 vitolas in the Por Larranga range. Main production vitolas we get in the UK. We have this. We've got the Picadores, which is a 5 48, which is what, a Hermoso, I believe. We have a Petit Corona, standard Petit Corona, and we have the Monte Carlo. Is it Monte Carlo? Yes, which is a 6 1/4 by a 33 ring gauge, nice slim thin ring gauge. I think it's like I think it's also an exclusive size. It's the same ring gauge as a Cohiba Exquisitos. And long, but longer. That's quite a nice cigar. I like the Monte Carlo. I think Monte Carlo's actually, I've smoked a lot of those. They're really nice. The Petit Corona's nice. Por Larranga as a brand is a light blend. Light to medium. I think the Picadores uses a slightly different brand. It uses a different band. But it's about the same price, about £25. So yeah, I believe it's a slightly stronger blend. That's a 5 48. I think it was originally released as a La Casa del Habano exclusive. It might still be. It uses a different band to the rest of the Larranga range. As you can see, the Larranga range uses this really nice gold and white band. I don't know if you can see that very well with the lighting in here, because I've got a big light and not nice ambient lighting, even though it would be nice to get like a lamp in here, I suppose, have some more ambient lighting. and not have a reflection show off the band, but it is what it is. In terms of construction, obviously I've not decided to take a draw out of the cigar yet. The wrapper looks really nice. There is a couple of minor construction issues, and I don't know if I've done them or if it arrived like this. I can't remember. There is a little tiny crack at the foot. Shouldn't affect the cigar too much. And there is kind of a little tiny, I don't know if you can see that there, rip in the wrapper. Besides that, there's like a little blemish. The wrapper's quite nice. It's not super oily, but there's a bit of a sheen to it. It looks quite nice. Very low. Very light on the nose, very light, slightly woody, a little bit sweet. These are, the brand as a whole, I've smoked probably quite a lot of this brand. I've smoked the Larranga 47, which was one of our more recent regional releases in the UK. That's a Churchill size, I think something like £70. Ridiculously expensive because Cuban cigars in the UK. But that was a lovely smoke. I smoked a couple of those. I've smoked a couple of Petit Coronas. I've smoked probably a box worth of Monte Carlos. They're a decent brand. I think they're a brand that a lot of people who smoke cigars know of as well. A lot of people who smoke cigars do know of Larranga. They know of the brand. It's not a massive brand, as it's only got 4 core ranges. I know they have more overseas. I think Europe might get a few more. They also have short filler lines elsewhere. We only get the 4 long filler lines. These are all long filler, all hand rolled, as with most Cuban cigars. We're going to use straight cut today. Nice cut on the cigar, and I'm hoping nice big ring gauge like this. Nice 52 ring gauge. One of my preferred ring gauges. I like a thicker ring gauge. I like a 48. I like a 50. I like a 52. I like a 60, and I like a 70. 52 for me is a really nice ring gauge. I think I like the little bit extra it gives over a 40, over a standard Robusto. I think in this size as well, I think if this was any thinner, it would feel quite small. I think if this was a 48 or even a 50, it might feel a bit less hefty in the hand. And when you're spending £25 on a cigar, any cigar, you want it to feel nice in the hand. This, the length and the width both feel pretty good. Let's take a dry draw. Hopefully it's going to be good. Cuban cigars and all that. I've had this now for about 3 weeks sat in my humidor. I do all my Cuban cigars at 62% humidity. I like them a bit drier. I think it helps with the draw. So let's hope. Yeah, good. Perfect. Absolutely perfect draw. Absolutely perfect. Really nice pull through of air. It's not loose. There's a good bit of resistance. That's a perfect draw cigar. I've had a few of these that I've smoked straight out of a shop's humidor. A couple of Monte Carlos. Monte Carlos are a thin ring gauge, so you expect those to sometimes be tight. But I've had a few of these, and I've had a few Petit Coronas that have been really tight. Really tight smokes. Petit Coronas especially. I've had probably 2 or 3 really tight Petit Coronas. Let's get this thing lit up. Speak a little bit more about the brand. Give me your thoughts. Oh, we'll talk about me pairing as well after I've lit the cigar up. Torch flame tonight. I'm hoping it'll run out of gas. I've got a bottle of gas if it does. Doesn't look good, to be fair. No, didn't think it would. Let me fill this thing up. Light the cigar, I say. No. Again, I need to get a bottle of Newport gas upstairs. Bottle of Newport gas instead of using this Safe Light gas, which I'm pretty sure is just rebranded Clipper gas. Which I don't mind using in these cheaper lighters. Yes, I know I've not purged it, by the way. No one's about to tell me, oh, you should have purged it. Yeah, I probably should have, but give that a second to warm up. I got the smallest bit of charring on the foot of the cigar. I'll talk a little bit about the brand while I'm warming the lighter up. So the brand as a whole, I believe, So the tobacco comes from Vuelta Bajo, which I think is where there was a brand I was talking about the other day. Placencia, I think, used to have their tobacco come from Vuelta Bajo. The brand itself was founded in 1834. 34. Does it say on the band? No, 34. Let me have a look. Yeah, 1834. There's something about the cigar also being the brand itself. It's quite well known. Yeah, here we are. Ignacio Larrañaga in 1834. It's the oldest Havana cigar, the oldest Cuban cigar brand that's still made today. I think there were brands before that, but they're not rolled anymore. Apparently, Rudyard Kipling mentioned the cigar in a poem he made. Very cool. As I said, it's a sweet blend. It's a light blend. I've not smelled this particular size, but I imagine I'm going to get those type of flavors I get from smaller Larrañagas, but in just a larger format. The light should be working now. There we go. Let's get this thing lit. Been looking forward to a nice cigar since my last one on Saturday. I was debating smoking this yesterday. I ended up not. I am going to town on Tuesday. I'm going to pick up some more cigars. And meeting up with some people. It's going to be a great time. But yeah, this cigar, it's Miami Humidor. It's the last cigar in there at the moment. I'm all out of long filler premium cigars until Thursday, which is fine. Gonna have a sip of me wine. I've got some wine. You might not have been drinking a lot of wine recently. I'm really enjoying the red wine. Bottle of Chianti. This is just Co-op's own Chianti. It's quite nice. If you like wine, it's quite nice. Strawberries and cherries and a bit of wood. It's quite nice. Right. Let us give ourselves a nice first draw on the Por Larranga Galanes. Nice. That is indeed quite nice. I've noticed the burn is not the best. Come on. I did have another lighter. I don't know where it's gone, to be honest. I don't think this one's working. It is apparently. Why have I not been using this the entire time? I've just got to top up the burn around the top of the wrapper. I'm hoping for no construction issues today. This was an expensive cigar, especially by my standards, the most expensive out of that order I made at the start of January, and so I do not want any construction issues. That's a really nice cigar. Straight off the bat, I'm getting sweet cream, cedar, a nice kind of light nuttiness to the cigar. Just really good Cuban earth as well, like a light Cuban earthiness mixed in with that cedar. And then on the retrohale, there's a nice subtle spice. But what I really like is the smoke output and the creaminess of the smoke here. Yeah. Earthy, creamy, nice, light, sweet cedar wood. That is some beautiful flavour out of this cigar. Some absolutely beautiful flavour. It reminds me, to be honest, quite a lot of Romeo and Julieta. Romeo y Julieta, as the Spanish would say. But Romeo and Julieta. They're one of my favourite companies. In the favourite brands in the Habanos range. I like how big the range is. I mean, if we have a quick look at their range just on here, you know, we're looking at, where are they? There's so many different cigars featured in their range. They've got miniatures and puritos. They've got the Petit Royales, the Short Churchill, the Churchill obviously, the Linea Doro line, the Mille Fleur, the Cedros number 3, the number 1, 2 and 3, obviously very famous. Very famous line. Where are they? There they are. That's the little Petit Julieta, which is a 4x30. The Mille Fleur, which is a Corona, it's a 5 1/3 by 42. The wide Churchill, the short Churchill, the Bellicoso, Petit Corona. They've got the number 4. Obviously, they've got the, I forgot what theirs is called. The one that comes in the retro tin. Doesn't really matter, but I'm getting that type of flavour, to be honest. A bit lighter. I think the Romeo is a solid medium blend. This is a bit lighter, but similar type of flavour profile. Yeah, really good, really nice. I'm gonna come back about a third in. I'll let you know what I think about the cigar third in, because it's so far very nice. So far very nice. Very happy. It's a bit stronger as well than I was originally thinking. The Monte Carlo and the Petit Corona can be a bit lighter. I think the extra tobacco here has really pumped up the strength of the cigar. So I'll see you when we're down to that second third. Welcome back, everyone. I've just noticed is that bit not burning? We're fine. So we're back. We are definitely probably halfway through. Definitely into the second third now. The cigar's lasted quite a while. We're probably about 40 minutes in. I'm a reasonably slow smoker. I'm playing a little video game on smoking. I've had some construction issues with the burn, and it's annoying, isn't it? It's quite annoying to have construction issues with the burn. And I have this with Larrañagas. I have them burning a bit weird. I've had to top it up a few times. I don't know why it is. I think it might be the combustion of the filler leaves isn't enough compared to the wrapper leaf or something. Because I hardly have these issues with other cigar brands. I think Larrañaga, Piedra, there's a couple of Cuban brands I do have these issues with. The Monte Carlo's fine, that's a much slower ring gauge. Obviously, larger ring gauge cigars are more likely to have burn issues. Flavour-wise, however, it's still very nice. There's been a nice development in strength and flavour. It's picked up a bit. We've got a little bit more pepper in there, a little bit more spice, but it's still creamy, sweet, cedary. It's still a lovely smoke so far. which is great, and that's what you want, really. A little bit of extra strength as you smoke through it, but still that kind of light, sweet smoke. This is, however, compared to other Piedras I've had, other Larrañagas I've had, quite spicy. There's more pepper on this cigar than on other Piedras. The Chianti has been an excellent pairing. This isn't a Chianti Classico for any wine nerds. This is the normal Chianti, just a very basic regional Chianti. It was cheap, like £7 a bottle. No, very cheap Chianti, but those soft, light, fruity flavours pair quite well with a softer, lighter cigar. But a nice bit of spice in this cigar does complement it quite well. But it is a really nice Cuban cigar. Out of the 3 Cuban cigars I bought on this order, this is probably the best. I think the Sancho Panza burnt better, it had the best construction. This has a better draw though, and it has better flavour, I think. The Panza was a very interesting cigar, and I did enjoy it very much. But this, it's just excellent flavour. Nice, it's more medium bodied than mild, to be honest. I think those first few puffs were quite mild, but even through the first third, and definitely in the second, there's a bit more strength, there's a bit more body there in the cigar. And it is lovely. The smoke still has a nice creaminess, which obviously is very nice. And I'm very happy it's there. But there's a nice spice to it, and there's just that earthy Cuban flavour. People know what I'm talking about when I say the Cuban twang, Cuban earthiness, specific flavour that is unique to Cuba because of the Cuban soil that tobacco's grown in. It really helps the cigar. It helps Cuban cigars stand apart. There's a reason we buy them. Such good flavour, such good development and complexity of flavour as well, while still being quite easy to smoke, quite smooth, not too challenging. It's not super heavy and super rich, and it's definitely a cigar I'd recommend for people who are new to cigars to smoke. I think Larrañaga is a great entry-level brand because they're quite affordable. The Monte Carlo is about £13 to £15. The Petit Corona, you're looking at 17 to 20. And then the Galanes and the Picadores, you're looking at around 25 to 28, depending on where you're buying it. And that is a great entry level. You can buy and give somebody or have someone buy a Monte Carlo or a Petit Corona and have a great introduction into Cuban cigars, because I think they do offer everything Cuban cigars is about. Creamy smoke, which is what you want from a Cuban cigar. You don't want kind of that drier, more tannic smoke, I call it, that more mouth drying smoke. You want the smoke that makes you salivate a little bit, makes you, it's moreish, makes you want to go in for another puff of the cigar. It's got that creaminess, that nice creamy smoke that we want from a Cuban cigar. And I will say, if you get aged Cuban cigars, they tend to, especially the more especially the more mild, not more mild, but the more, I would say, known as smooth and premium blends, your Trinidads, your Cahibas, because they are creamy, as much as I'm not a massive fan of Cahiba, just the price tag, they are a creamy cigar. Cahiba, Trinidad, I think Larrañaga is in this. I think Romeo and Julieta have quite a few creamy smokes. A lot of brands, there's a few other brands, can't think off the top of my head. You want that creamy smoke, you want that Cuban earthiness, and you want that nice kind of sweet cedar, which I think a lot of Cuban cigars have, and I think is a great introduction to Cuban cigars. For me, this is, and it's a good ring gauge this as well. I think if for someone who doesn't smoke cigars very often, it might be a bit heavy on the ring gauge for them. The Picadores, I've not tried the blend. The blend, I believe, might be a bit stronger. I'm not sure. I've not had one. But the Picadores might be a bit better at 5 and 48. .52 is quite a heavy ring gauge, especially for people who don't smoke cigars. It feels like quite a lot. You know, A lot of people will pick up a Corona, a 42, or even something smaller at a 38 or 36, and they'll go, that feels a bit weird in the mouth. That's it's quite big in the mouth. And if you don't smoke cigars, you know, you get that. For me, a 52 is actually on the smaller end of what I enjoy smoking. I like a 60, I like a 66, I like a 70. 52 is still a heavy ring gauge, but I think for beginners especially. But I think it's an excellent cigar to introduce to people who are new smoking. Maybe get them weaned in with a Petit Corona. Get them weaned on, you know, maybe even give them something like a, trying to think of kind of medium ring gauge cigar, something in a Hermosa, maybe a what's it called? Rafael Gonzalez. Is it called Lonsdale? It's not called Lonsdale, is it? Might be. Their newest one, the 23-poundish one. And then get them on these, because it's a lovely, lovely smoke. I'll be back with the final third, final thoughts, and a score, as always. See you in a minute. We're at the final end of this cigar. I have been... Now, this cigar has lasted me a while. Like, almost an hour and a half. That said, I've not been smoking it like super consistently in the same way I would normally smoke a cigar. I've even played a video game while I've been smoking it. So I've been smoking it, it's been going out occasionally, I've been topping it up. The burn has been alright, to be fair. It's picked up flavour-wise. Basically the same. A little bit more pepper in there, and a little bit more earth. A little bit less sweet cedar. Still a nice creamy smoke. And I think that's basically the main gist of it. There's a creamy smoke, there's a nice earthiness, there's a bit of pepper. It lasts a while. I think even if I was smoking this consistently, it's a solid hour. Probably an hour 10. And I think for £25, there's you're not going to go wrong, I don't think. I think you've got a good sized cigar. And, you know, it's a Robusto, basically. I think it's not a Cuban Robusto, but it's a Robusto in you know, a lot of new, like Plasencia Robustos are 4 3/4. Quorum Robustos are 4 3/4. So it is by 50. This is a 52, so you've got a bit more width there. For me, this has been a really nice Cuban cigar. As I said before, for me, it's kind of quintessentially Cuban. Now, I'm known as not being a big fan of Monte Cristo. I am going to buy a Monte Cristo cigar. I want to give him a good shot, a good chance. So I am going to pick up a Monte Cristo cigar to review on my next batch of cigars I'm going to buy. Because I want to give them a fair shot. I've had a few Monte Cristos and not been impressed with any of them. They've all been painfully average for me at like a 6 out of 10. I think I've had... I had a limited edition that was a 7 out of 10, but had construction issues. This for me though, this is a solid, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Construction issues let it down a little bit. The flavour is very nice. I think this is a cigar I could buy a box of and I could smoke every day. It's not too strong. As I said, it's a good mild to medium. Mild building up to medium. Mild start with medium to end. Perfect lunchtime cigar. I think it's a bit big, lasts a bit long to be a morning cigar, a breakfast cigar, if you will. But I think at lunch, with a nice wine, as I've paired it here, nice Italian wine, nice light cigar, maybe after you've had some food, this would be perfect. I think it's a great lunchtime cigar. I think Por Larranga make good cigars. I don't think they make an end of night cigar, really. I like a brand that can offer me a morning cigar, a midday cigar, and an evening cigar. Some brands can. Romeo can. I think Trinidad can. I think their flavour profiles and their sizes can. Trying to think of other Cuban brands that I like. That's the problem, I think, with Cuban cigars. They all have quite limited portfolios. Besides a couple of brands, Monte Cristo and Romeo, the two biggest. Cohiba have a big line as well. That's what I personally prefer. New Worlds, I always have. I think New Worlds offer more variety. I think their portfolios as well offer a lot of variety. You look at the portfolios of New World cigars, they have shade wrappers, Maduro wrappers, and natural wrappers, and they do them in vast amounts of sizes, which give you better, like you can get a nice 4 or 4.5 by 40 or 42, a little Petit Cazador or Petit Corona or Perla or whatever they want to call it. In the morning, then you can have a Corona or even a short Robusto or something after lunch. And you could finish the day with a Toro or a Churchill and a Maduro, or even a natural. And they've got great variety. Cuban cigars don't have that, in my opinion, and they're more expensive, and they offer less in terms of flavour profile variety. I think basically every Cuban cigar you're going to get Cuban earthiness. I think you're going to get creamy smoke. I think you're going to get sweet cedar. Most Cuban cigars have this. You're going to have some amount of spice and pepper in there. Whether it's, Monte Cristo, which I find more peppery, or Partagas, which has more pepper, more spice, and more earth, has some leather in that one, in a Partagas. Or a Romeo, that's a bit sweeter, has some, more, I would say, almost fruitier notes to it. Or you have something like this, which is nice and mild and creamy with sweet cedar and a bit of nuttiness. But you're not getting kind of those very interesting flavour notes you get from New Worlds. You're not getting, syrupy sweetness, or you're not getting kind of stewed plum. You're not getting kind of lemon zest, and these have a very interesting and different flavours that you don't get out of Cuban cigars. I really enjoy those, and obviously it takes a while to be able to build up a palate from smoking cigars where you can get that kind of, this has stewed fruit, this has bacon spices, this has cinnamon, this has nutmeg, that type of thing. And obviously all those flavours that I mentioned come off memory recall. Basically what you attribute a flavour to comes from what you think that flavour tastes like in your head, and that's why everyone's tasting notes are different. I've had people tell me they've had salt in cigars and meaty, savoury notes. And I think the most interesting Cuban cigar I had recently was the Sancho Panza, because that had like some really interesting savoury notes you don't really get in Cuban cigars. A meatiness and a salty quality, almost a brininess. And some of the regional editions and the limited editions also do and because they've got more aged tobacco or interesting sizes and interesting blends, they do offer those editions very interesting smokes. The problem is the core production line of Cuban cigars is very expensive, especially in the UK, but it's expensive everywhere really, but especially in the UK. Their portfolios aren't massive and they don't offer enough variety for me, which is a problem. I prefer New Worlds, I'm always going to, I think. I think New Worlds just offer, as I said, better breadth. That's not to say I don't love a Cuban cigar. I do. There's nothing like it. New Worlds come close to the flavour profile sometimes, but they never get it spot on. And I think sometimes you're in a mood for a Cuban. You're in a mood for that flavour. Some people really, really like that flavour and only smoke Cuban cigars. Couldn't be me. But it is what it is. We all like different things, and that's what makes this such a great hobby. We all like different bits of different cigars, different types of cigars. Collecting, buying boxes upon boxes, or buying singles, trying different things, or smoking the same. We all like cigars, and we all want to smoke different cigars and have interesting things and just good flavour and a good experience. That's what makes this hobby great. With that, 8.5 out of 10. Lovely cigar. Recommend you buy it. I'd buy a box at some point. I'll definitely pick another up in the future. Por Larranga Galanes. Lovely, lovely smoke. As always, stay smoky everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. See you later.